Hi, welcome to our presentation. This is Cassie Daring, Shannon Koenig, Anna Mandel, and Anna Reagan. We will be informing you all on the practical issues of classroom arrangements and discuss possible issues that are common based on the way classrooms are arranged. The physical environment of the classroom must be purposefully planned and organized to foster learning and participation. It is important that, as future teachers, we take time and consideration in how we want to arrange our classroom. We have to think how to make our classrooms safe, comfortable, and easy to get around in. So let's get started. On this slide, you see two photos. On the right is a classroom with poor physical environment, and on the left is a classroom with appropriate classroom environment. The arrangement of the classroom environment significantly affects how students will learn and how engaged they will be throughout the day. The rest of this presentation will compare different elements of the classroom environment that either harm or help students learn. Keep these two images in your mind as we compare seating, lighting, decor, and materials. One element of good classroom environment is the seating. On the right, we see a picture of an example of bad seating. On the left, we see a picture of an example of what good seating looks like. Seating should be systematic. Seating configuration is extremely important, and students should be able to easily move, transition, and interact in the classroom. Students and teachers should be able to move comfortably throughout the entire classroom. In the photo on the right, students have no room to move, especially if a student was in a wheelchair. Organization of the seats helps the student to feel more organized. Sometimes this sense of organization is helped if students have assigned seats, just as in the photo on the left. In my practicum experiences, I have found assigned seats to be very effective. It gives the teacher the ability to put students who work well together in the same area or group. On the contrary, it can also minimize problems for students who might distract one another. Additionally, seats should be arranged in such a way as to reduce traffic distractions. It is important that the only furniture in the room is functional and that there isn't any useless furniture or non-essential furnishings. Another element of good classroom environment is the lighting. On the right, we see an example of bad lighting in a classroom. On the left, we see a good example of lighting in a classroom. Lighting should be adequate. If your room has windows with blinds, make sure that they are operable so that you use natural light as an additional lighting source. A mixture of lighting that is natural and artificial works best. Your classroom will be most effective for students when it is bright and full of light, not dull and dark. You might also consider bringing some lamps into your classroom. Noise also impacts student success. If your classroom is too noisy, it will be difficult for your students to concentrate. Sound-absorbing materials are helpful with student focus. In one of my practicums, the teacher played music softly while the students worked. This encouraged the students to be quiet so that they could hear the music that they liked. Temperature is also important to student success. Make sure that your room temperature is moderate to cool. Warm classrooms tend to lead students to be more sleepy, inattentive, and consequently bored and disruptive. If necessary, use a fan to maintain a good airflow, keeping the room cooler. If your room has windows that open, check to make sure that they can be opened easily. Outside air is always a bonus for several months of the school year. Decorations are another element of good classroom environment. On the right, we see an example of poor decorations. On the left, we see an example of good classroom decorations. Students should feel like the classroom is theirs. Teachers should display their work and put up their photos. It's also a good idea to get the students involved in the decorating, as it is their classroom too. Contact-related murals, posters, banners, whiteboards, and poster boards should fill the walls. They should reinforce curriculum, concepts, skills, rules, and routines, as well as showcase student work, photos, and awards. Heavily decorated classrooms, like the photo on the right, can be too distracting. It's important to keep things neat and not cluttered or over the top. The entrance to your room and hallway outside should not cause distractions to students during lessons. Another element of good classroom environment is material organization. On the right, we can see a very poor example of material organization. On the left, we can see a very good example of material organization. The photo on the left shows a great way to organize materials using storage containers, labels, and color coordination. The photo on the right is a cluttered mess. You should organize your tools according to what you use the most compared to what you use the least. A classroom that isn't organized will affect the teacher as well as the students. If your classroom isn't organized, you might lose students' homework or not be able to find supplies when you need them. You must demonstrate good organization and cleanliness so that your students can follow your lead, learn, and implement your ideas into their own lives at school and at home. The classroom is the home away from home for you and your students. It is necessary to realize the importance of each and every aspect of your classroom in regards to decor, arrangement, organization, lighting, and much more. We are so thankful that we've been able to observe different classrooms during our practicums. We've been able to see it all. We are so excited to be able to design our classroom someday. For this presentation about the physical environment of the classroom and practical issues in classroom arrangement, we read 4 different articles and watched 1 video. We read 8 Tips and Tricks to Redesign Your Classroom by Edutopia and watched How to Make an Ugly Classroom Beautiful on YouTube. We also read Classroom Environment, The Basics by Denise Young, as well as Tips for Creating a Wow-Worthy Learning Space and Master Classroom Designs by Creative Minds, both by Edutopia. Thanks for watching our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot about the practical issues in classroom arrangement.